Welcome back, everyone, and I know that I have been talking to Hysterics way too much because I'm going to say that game number 1 was a shellacking there from TES over Invictus Gaming, our world champions, because that was such a brutal game from literally level 2.
Yeah, and you have to feel bad because the LPL representatives, the best one we're sending, are probably the 3rd and 4th place teams to Rift Rivals in FPX and top esports, really. IG and JD Gaming, they're still having a rough time recovering from their victory, I suppose.
It feels so weird to say, but it's like objectively true at this point. Both of them are coming off, well, Invictus Gaming less so, but JD Gaming were close. They got to the finals, and ever since then, when the summer split started, neither of these teams have really had the consistency they've been looking for, whereas FPX and TES, like you said, have been coming in so much stronger.
And a couple of things I want to say that FPX and top esports have in common is that their read on the meta is actually quite similar. If you look at their drafting strategies, they're almost purely red side teams. They don't actually favor the blue side despite the number of potential flex picks you get. They have enough champion pools and they're confident enough in what they get to always find counters, even if the enemy gets tier 1 picks like the Aatrox or like the Akali. And this game, again, you're gonna find top esports going on red side themselves. This is very stark contrast to what Invictus Gaming like to do, which is that they almost always play on the blue side when given the chance.
And I think coming into this next one, we talked about it a little bit before going to the break. This is going to be all on Invictus Gaming to figure out how to beat TES's composition, because this is a composition that works very well for their style, works very well for what tools they have in their arsenal, and it is hard to stop. I mean, you give your solo lanes success. Well, you give your top lane success, you give your bottom lane success, you give XX the tools to make it happen for either of those lanes, and TES just roll over the opposition every time.
No one has been able to outscale this composition. This is what I've been seeing from top esports. The idea is incredibly simple. You just pick Kalista, Jace, and Renekton. You put them in the same composition. You're expected to almost always win these 3 lanes. You pick a jungler that's always there to gank something like the Sejuani or the Gragas, and that's just the way you set up your composition. Once you have a lead, it's very easy to find picks. You have these long-range ultimates like the Light Binding, like the Glacial Prison, and the Explosive Cask, just to catch people over and over. And once you have a stranglehold on the map, no one can take it away from you. They're really playing at the start of at the top of the meta, and it's very similar to what FPX have been running. The only difference is FPX has been more on the luck side of things, where they're using that map priority to catch people out with the final chapter. So it's very interesting to me to see that the two teams have developed very similar styles, very similar answers in the meta, and they're both undefeated in the record so far. I want to see who's going to be able to challenge that, because if I can challenge it right here, if I can give you a straight answer, please hire me as a coach. They're paid quite well in the LPL.
Well, maybe not going to be able to find that today, Clement, but we are going to find our MVP from last game. It will be, of course, 369 in the top lane, because he was able to solo kill TheShy.
Yes, I think that's the main reason, and the 49% is not the amount of damage he dealt, it's the amount of damage he took. So I think it's, you know, like if you're going up against Comet Akali, who's forcing you to Q on the minion wave every single cooldown you have, you're probably going to take a lot of damage.
Well, and it's so funny, too, because that was not a full tank Renekton. That was not a super front-lining Renekton. That was kind of an assassin Renekton. You know, Black Cleaver, Spear of Shojin, just get in there, dish out all your damage as fast as possible. Took 49% of the damage, never died.
You got a solo kill. That's what counts. How many people got a solo kill on TheShy? There's actually quite a few.
Yeah, I was going to say, this split, there's been quite a few.
There's
so
actually been quite a few.
What were the key moments, the key mistakes for Invictus Gaming that series, or that game?
I would say earlier on, just breaking up the Ning dying level 2 earlier on really hurt them, because what they wanted was a snowball from the Xin Zhao to get one of their lanes ahead, transition into the 1-3-1. But if Ning dies early, you lose your topside vision, it becomes so hard. Even in the mid lane gank, the way they got it was just Xin Zhao walking through lane, like the undetectable style of gank that cannot be prevented that easily. So if they want to rely on jungle to get their lanes ahead, they cannot get invaded on. I really like top esports' idea on the map. First, they do level 1 invade. They make sure Xin Zhao's pathing just from the get-go, and IG didn't change their pathing whatsoever. They started the red knowing full well that there was vision, that Xin Zhao was going to going to be spotted out, and they continued on their path. So it was quite easy for top esports to play it out, just knowing where Ning was, making sure that there was never a scenario where it was a 2v1 in their solo lanes and their bot lane would continuously win.
If you're IG's coach right now, how do you play to the current condition of your team? Because you have TheShy, who is overextending, doing crazy things, trying to 1v5 the game, literally 1v3ing at points, trying to at least, and Ning, who's not working well with your lanes. How do you draft around that to set your team up for success?
Ooh, I think that goes far beyond drafting. None of those are drafting issues, okay? Those are communications and set
I thought
play
maybe
issues.
there was a Band-Aid they could throw on mid-series.
There's not a draft that instantly makes you have better communication with the rest of the team. That's not something you can draft for. So honestly, this is a behind closed door issue. This is an issue that they're going to have to work with, doing a lot of retros, going over VODs, seeing what works and what doesn't work. I really don't think it comes down to the draft for Invictus Gaming's current issues that much. Sure, the bot lane was a bit weird for me. Like, you could see how top esports were very happy. It was an instant lock onto the Kalista straight when they saw Sivir Yuumi. And I expect IG to have better preparation. I expect them to know what the enemy team was doing. Hey, if I'm a caster and I'm able to call out as soon as I see the Lux what they're going to pick, as Invictus Gaming, you should be able to answer to that as well. And frankly, they didn't have an answer. They had nothing.
At the very least now, going into game number 2, they have that preparation, they have that knowledge that it's going to very likely be that same composition they're looking for. So hopefully the bans will reflect that. If they don't, I'm wondering what Invictus Gaming are trying to do.
So hopefully, first thing, Invictus Gaming, they reset their mentality. Okay, it doesn't look like it. I'm looking at the faces like stern determination is what I want to see. They look a little bit defeated, a little bit nervous, but it's okay. As long as they can get a good draft.
Someone show us a smile or something. No, that's not a smile. That is a very, very sad Baldan.
Yeah, I think the issue is that they're not talking. That usually scares me when I walk into the pregame. You always want to see your players communicating.
Communication is so important, especially after a loss. I mean, top esports, they're not exactly chatting it up either, but I feel like at the very least between these two teams, if there's one of them that you really need to be talking right now, it has to be Invictus Gaming. They have to talk about what went wrong for them, how they're going to fix it, what they want to have a plan of in the early game, because if Ning isn't communicating properly, maybe it's a miscommunication during the game that you can fix before. You can say, here's what I want to do with this composition. Are we ready to do that?
IG's a very interesting team where their most talkative person is actually the AD carry. JakeyLove is the one that does most of the shot calling in the later phases of the game, which is surprising considering he's also the youngest player on the team, but that's what they roll with. On the other hand, you have top esports that is mainly shot called by Xiongxiong. You can hear him talking throughout the entire mic checks all the time. He has a very rough and tough type of shot calling style. Hey, we could kill him here. Let's get him, go! That type of shot calling, but it's very effective. I actually prefer jungle shot calling. Most of the time, I think the early game is almost entirely dictated by that. So at least we're going to see IG take away one of the key components here. Take away the Renekton. That's something that 369 has been relying on quite a bit.
But is that enough of a lesson learned here? Because we talked about it, there are multiple keys to this composition. If they get the Kalista and the Lux again, does IG have an answer? Is there an answer in the bottom lane that can sufficiently stop that?
I'm trying to think of one. Varus is probably a good answer. You have the range advantage. IG going for the Sejuani, so less reliant on early game dominance. They're trying to look for a better teamfight potential, better catch potential.
TES, though, they're going for the exact same thing. They're looking at that Lux once again. They know exactly what it's able to accomplish for them in the bottom lane, and this should not be a surprise to anyone after they saw that last game.
Level 1 Guardian trade is just so hilarious. You get the extra shield, and then you start with shield badge, which gets extra damage on your auto attacks as well. And Ben was walking into the minion wave for those trades.
Yeah, he was taking so much minion damage, but he was just like, all right, it's fine. I have a shield. I'm just going to go at him. And of course, I would love to see this locked in. We have seen Knight be so successful on this Jace. We, of course, saw one of his previous games, I believe, 9-1 and 5 was 3 games ago. So there it is. It's going to be locked in. We saw this against Vici. We saw the solo kill in the earlier highlight package we made for him. So this is one of his best champions. This is how he took down OMG in one of the closest to perfect games we had last split.
I'm very curious about what Top Esports select as a counter pick here. So what IG's plan is either to outscale or to outgank the Jace. There's not much you can do to win lane against him solo, so Top Esports' jungle pick here is incredibly important. Either it's going to be a Trundle, which is going to control Sejuani and go into the jungle solo, or they're going to try and strike first and go with the Gragas. I actually like the Gragas route a little bit more. I feel like Trundle's been a suspect team when it comes into the team fight. It doesn't always synergize that well, so I like the Gragas idea. If you're going to come in gank, well, if I gank you first, then it doesn't work, so... I like the general idea, and also shapes up for a very strong poke composition. Even if a Kalista is banned right here, you can go for the Ezreal option.
A lot of options still on the field for Top Esports, and more importantly, the ones that they have locked in for themselves are things that they have been shown to be strong on before.
It's very difficult to ban out Top Esports' later developments in the draft. You can go for things like the Corki, you can go for Ezreal as well. So if they want to get poke, they will have the options open. Now, taking a look at the champion pools, you can also go Sivir Lux as well. Full lane priority, very hard to push out in lane. So I like what Top Esports are doing. What is weak composition to go up against for the poke composition? It's mainly hard to engage. Take away the Nautilus. The other one I would be looking at is probably the Galio. Oh, but they're actually taking the Scion away. One of the special champions that TheShy still plays.
I'm actually happy about that, because that was one of the things that I was positing could be the answer here for TheShy and Invictus Gaming as a whole, because there's only so hard you can feed on a very tanky champion. I hate to put it that way, but that is the way. With the way TheShy has been playing, I feel like Scion is a very reliable tank for him. It is so bizarre that they did not ban away the Kalista, or, as you mentioned earlier, it could be the Sivir picked up here.
Yeah, so Sivir, Ezreal, both are great options here. Top Esports, they literally have the same thought pattern I do. It's like, well, just go for a poke. Any of these two are perfectly fine options. And as soon as I say this, they transition to something else. I thought we were on the same track.
Sorry, Coach going a little bit of a different way than you are, but will be the Vladimir locked in. We saw Knight play it last game, but very likely going to go over to 369 this time. This time I feel a little bit more confident about that call.
They can still look at the draft. I wouldn't lock it in.
But Knight's just so good on the Jace. I don't want to deny him that. In 369, I think Vladimir was one of his best champions, if not his best last split.
All right, Karma's great answer here. She's actually going to have some lane priority. Like, you do 150 damage at Q at level 1, which is absolutely insane. So I don't think Lux can even out-trade that.
Well, they've found one answer so far, Clement. They need to find the other answer somewhere in here. At the moment, it looks like they're looking for a solo lane, I assume. But that is the Camille. It can be flexed both jungle and top, and we have seen top lane Sejuani, unfortunately, coming out a lot in the LPL recently.
All right, TheShy taking the Ning skin, the champion skin that he selected. I like the idea. It's clear that Top Esports is going for something very poke-heavy, so you want strong engage options. And TheShy Camille is a treat to watch. He's probably one of the best Camille's that I have ever seen. He had a ridiculous win rate, and through the early parts of 2018 when Camille was first released onto the Rift, there was over a 60% ban rate on the champion. It's like, what can you let TheShy, what do you always have to take away TheShy? It was always Jason Camille. You never want to get him on one of those two champions. It's still a great top lane pick.
We're very happy to see that it's not going to be, at the very least, it's not going to be another top Sejuani, so I can get excited about the Camille. I'm really excited to see this coming in from TheShy, and hopefully this has a better matchup for him. This has a better performance than the Akali last game. Did very well in the lane. When it got to the decision-making stages of the game, TheShy fell a little bit flat last game. But this time, Invictus Gaming, I feel like this is a composition they can be confident with.
There's far more outs in this composition. The top side is just objectively stronger in the 2v2, and in the team fights, I would give the advantage to Invictus Gaming as well. I feel like this is one of the few scenarios where IG has outdrafted in a lot of senses. As long as the bot lane can hold even, doesn't give up a lot of turret platings, they have the Karma for the wave clear there, and the mid lane doesn't fall too far behind. They hit level 6, they should find easy ganks across the map, and when it comes to team fight, that engage is so deadly to the poke composition that top is running.
So, is it safe to say then that top just really want to scale up, poke it down, make sure they avoid fights at all costs, or do they have a chance to get a team fight?
Oh, they still have a lot of chances. A lot of these lanes are going to be ripe for the picking when Xiongxiong comes in for a gank. They should find a lot of low health champions across the board, especially in the bot lane. If Kai'Sa takes a little bit of poke, if she gets stunned once, Gragas comes in, easy gank. But it has to be done pre-6. This is a composition where you don't want to, once Sejuani gets her ult online and is able to gank freely, then it becomes very hard to then bring the tempo back.
All right, we're going to be looking for a lot of pre-6 action here from Top Esports then, but the world champions looking to reinstate their place at the top of the LPL, and taking down the currently undefeated Top Esports would be one way to do it.
Cheeky level 1 here from Invictus Gaming, but was fully spotted out by Top. In Duke we trust.
And don't we always? The good luck charm there for Invictus Gaming. Going to be relying on him a little bit in this one too. Need all the help you can get if you're Invictus Gaming after that game number 1. How are you feeling about the Colonel's predictions here in the early game, Clement?
I don't think the Colonel is actually correct. So the only thing the Colonel actually takes into consideration is individual champion win rates as game goes on. So it doesn't actually, it's not like a human planning out like, oh, this composition works in this way, that composition works in that way. It does not consider how a composition works at all. So I actually do not agree that Top Esports has a more favorable composition when it goes late.
Well, we're going to have a pause very early on, and it's going to be another exciting one, Clement. Hopefully we don't get to Vici gaming lengths, but you know what, if we do, it's going to be fine, because these are two of our most storied teams here in the LPL, and I think let's start talking about these compositions, right? Because we have very different goals. You have a stronger top and team fighting top side and team fighting from Invictus Gaming, but on the other side, you have TES who are looking to make those picks, make those ganks pre-6. How do you envision this game developing as time goes on? Like, where does each team try and take their advantages?
I would say that what Ning should try to do is, after he finishes bot side clear, try to go into the top side of Top Esports. Sejuani is one of those champions that actually has a very favorable 1v1 matchup against Gragas early, so you can really shove your advantage there. If you establish vision on the top side, make sure that Xiongxiong cannot stay on that side of the map, then you can bully out the Vladimir. The Vladimir is very easy to actually zone out. You can force him to sit behind a wave and just take EXP, but not really farm up that well. It's very easy to set that play up, and very difficult for Gragas to actually prevent that. Now, I really like the topside gank that the topside invade that Invictus Gaming do, because the most common and the best start for Gragases who take Predator is usually want to clear your entire red side. You do red into Krugs and into Raptors, and that gives you level 3, and you can back it and then get your Predator boots. So doing that level 1 invade actually messes up Gragas's gank patterns quite a lot. If you take the bottom side where it's blue, Krugs, and Wolves, you actually don't have enough EXP to hit level 3. So it's very different starting from the red or the blue. That's a key difference right there. So I really like what they're doing. Essentially, what they're doing is they're trying to force the play where, okay, you have to start on your bot side because top side is warded. You might give away your pathing, and then we're going to go onto the top side with Camille, who should have an early lead in lane, and just try to push you out of that side of the map. I think that's the game plan for Invictus Gaming going forward, and it really is a relief to see IG start trying some of these level 1 strategies. Typically, we haven't seen them do that much of it.
Forge going to be getting traded on 2 in the early game here by Knight. How do you expect this mid lane matchup to go? Because given last game, Knight actually was put under a little bit of pressure there in the Aurelia versus Vladimir matchup.
Well, it should be good for Knight until a gank comes in. That's basically how it should go. Now, very important to note about Xiongxiong's starting path. He actually called the bluff. He started in his red side regardless, but didn't take the Raptors. So keeping himself out of IG vision, this is very interesting. He's actually dodging the vision. I think he must have spotted out the warding spots during the level 1 invade.
Well, they did have the ward to spot out the invade at the very least, so maybe they saw that no ward was placed in the area of the Raptor pit, because that's where the ward was placed for TES. So the wards had to be somewhere out of there. So now he figured out that's where he wants to path. But regardless, he is going to pick himself up the boots, look for that Predator gank potentially early. He could go towards the bottom side, but meanwhile on the top side, a lot of damage going down onto 369. He's getting mighty low. Crimson Rush going to come up for him, but it barely helps him at that point. The level up will do a whole lot more for him instead. And the Doran shield paying dividends already, but Ning looking for a top lane gank.
Yep. Already with the scanner just to make sure that Xiongxiong's not going to be there to intercept. And I have to say, that was really ballsy from 369, the way he walked forward to dodge out of the tactical swipe. Oftentimes necessary, but takes a lot of courage.
Here comes XX. He finds the body slam with the flash, and JakeyLove should be going down here at this level 2 gank. LokeN picking that one up for first blood.
Yeah, great location for it. 369, I hope he still holds on to his pull, because he's going to need it soon.
Yep, he has the pull there, looks for the E, Tides of Blood is going to land, flashes away, needs the Crimson Rush, but not going to be able to find it as TheShy picks up a kill onto 369.
Yeah, smart idea from TheShy, holds on to it before he even draws tower aggro, so essentially they got his pull for free.
Teleport coming into the top side from 369, he's just going to return to lane there as best he can. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, they're still going to be celebrating that victory in the early game. But this is our POV stream for this. It's going to be night. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go home and actually just watch this.
Of course, you can find those on Huya or Douyu. This is going to be one of the best streams because Knight is currently our best performing mid laner. 369 having a little bit of trouble on the top side still, but at the very least, it seems like if he's able to dodge out the hookshot wall dive, he will get the better end of these trades. So if he's able to keep that up consistently against TheShy, he's going to be having a fine laning phase at the very least.
Yeah, it's actually coming out quite favorable. I really liked how fast he was on the Q, getting it before TheShy could get his adaptive shields up. That's a crucial part of the trades. A lot of times with Camille, you really need to get your damage in before she's able to auto-attack.
Balon's going to spot out XX here. Has to back off at this point. XX going to just jump over the wall with the body slam. Balon's going to be able to clear that ward out towards the Raptor pit. 369 still struggling in the top lane, but he's keeping himself sustained up at the very least. He's down a wave of CS, but the fact that he's still alive, I think, is something that he's at least a little bit happy about. Oh, he's in trouble now. Not going to have to pop the pool at the very least. But this is so problematic for him. He's having to use every single Crimson Rush to just keep himself healthy. Not going to be able to find Harass. Now, gank coming into the bottom side from Ning. LokeN looking for the kill onto JakeyLove. He's getting free autos off. If they can get this in time, there's the Q. It's flashed away. Forge comes down for a roam himself. And now, looks like Ben and LokeN both going to die. Flash not burned from LokeN, but Ben has no summoners left to save himself with. Has the shield, but one more auto will do it. JakeyLove going to pick that one up. Meanwhile, on the top side, TheShy finally getting punished for all that pressure he put down onto 369. They're going to pick that one up. Meanwhile, Forge comes back into the mid lane. The fights never stop, Clement. The Knight going to pop the Conqueror, going to get a little bit of extra damage there, a little bit of healing, punishing Forge as he comes back into lane.
This is just what top level jungling does. Like, anytime you have an advantage, numbers advantage on the map, instantly go for the kill. And Knight still has his flash, but he's going to have to get out of this one.
Knight able to dodge out the Oscond. Should be safe for now, but there's the ultimate stolen away from Forge. If he finds the Shock Blast, it's going to be death, certainly for Knight. XX is here. He needs to save his mid laner, but he's not going to be able to as Forge picks up the kill. And Invictus Gaming in the early game, 4-2 kill lead.
Too late to the lead, and this is massive for IG. I don't think the kill in the top side actually changes how the matchup works itself. You can see it's still a very strong CS lead for TheShy. So overall, I have to say Ning's plays here really do cancel out and even gain IG a sizable advantage.
Now Invictus Gaming going to be backing that Seeker's Arm Guard for Forge. Has paid dividends at this point, but TES still have a little bit of a lead in the bottom side of the map. Of course, the pickaxe is going to do a whole lot for him. The additional longsword going to help out now. TES already starting to take down the turret platings. This is, at the very least, a decent early game from them, but nowhere near the absolute stomp it was in game number 1.
I love the cheeky fairy charm. It's just so, it's so good to do that. Definitely worth your time. Recently, the Sivir was nerfed where her W is going to take a little bit more mana. I think you're going to be seeing the fairy charm a lot more in these matchups.
We've been seeing, or at least we saw it a lot in the mid lane initially, but it's good to see that it's making its way down to the bottom lane. Of course, it does make it down there occasionally for the Kaisa herself.
Oh, SMLZ does it all the time.
SMLZ also builds Muramana Kog'Maw without crit, so we're gonna maybe step back on saying SMLZ does it as a positive at this point.
Well, if you try a lot, you do event a lot of things. Like, you get that attached to your name.
Eventually, something you come up with turns out good. 369 takes almost all of his health in that trade. Has to use the Crimson Rush to heal up, and he is down 22 CS at the 8-minute mark. This is such a terrible top lane for the rookie top laner. He is having one hell of a time, and this is so different from last game too, because that was a winning matchup for him that he was losing, which is fair into the best top laner in the world. But when it's already a good matchup for the Camille, that's scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they picked Vladimir before they picked Sivir. That was a bit of a question mark for me. Like, are you afraid of IG taking Vladimir? I don't really think so. With the composition you're going, you're doing a full bench press where you're trying to win everywhere early. So I found that a little bit questionable from Top Esports draft to take up the Vladimir before they took the Sivir. Now, this is fully spotted by Top Esports, so they should be fine in this one.
Pings are going out onto it, which means they definitely know this is happening. The question is what XX is going to do about it, because it looks like for the time being, he's just not going to contest it. They're going to leave 369 up in the top lane. And what is he going to do with the time instead? Because I feel like leaving your top laner out to dry, Clement, not exactly what you want to be doing as a jungler.
No, definitely not a good idea. I'm quite questioning this myself, but this is a scenario we were talking about where you'll see this happen a lot of times in this matchup. If the Camille gets a zone going, there's nothing the Vladimir can actually do.
Knight going to try and win this trade,
It's
getting a lot of damage.
though.
But Forge, the minions, like you said, on top of it, Forge steals away the J-Salt, gets the kill. Ignite not going to be enough. Hemoplague plus the Crimson Rush should keep 369 alive for the time being. Under the tower, though, he is not safe. Hookshot, wall dive, it's coming out. Lands the ultimate. Hextech Ultimatum is the last thing that 369 is going to see. Doesn't even have the teleport back up yet.
A very weird trade coming in from Knight. He was tanking 5 minions there, I believe, just to get the trade back onto Forge. And even though Forge missed the Aftershock, that would have been enough to find the kills anyway. So Top Esports are really collapsing under the pressure that they've been put under.
At this point, if you're Top Esports, how do you recover? Because your solo lanes are both down in what you really wanted to be strong matchups. Your one lane, your top lane specifically, is down almost 40 CS at just the 10-minute mark.
This is always a tough situation where it's very hard to gank for this lane at this point. He's just too far behind. So I like the answer that they're showing on screen. Is actually Top Esports just proactively doing the lane swap. Sure, they might lose out some CS on this, but it's something they have to do. They can't put 369 in this position. Vladimir, that has no items, is a very poor fellow.
Yeah, just brutal having that replayed. That one's going to haunt 369 in his dreams. If he ever has a nightmare, it's like, oh God, what was it, 369? Oh, I just remember the IG camps. It was so awful.
They just kept Camp Shy.
They just kept sending that boar up. It was so cold. It was so cold, Knight.
But Knight's like, you know what? My screen is black and white as well. Stop complaining.
I'm 0-2. You at least have a kill. Stop complaining. And Rift Herald going to be picked up there by Top Esports, so they're at least going to find a little bit for their troubles. Going to try and push this one in, try and get some turret platings here, turn the advantage here for Top Esports, get LokeN a little bit more gold. Obscana Duck going to land on the Knight again. He is having so much trouble in this lane.
Yeah, he didn't really push his lead enough, and just 2 kills happening in the mid. As a Jace, you're not really expected to do much after this one. I feel like the time frame for IG is far better. They have such great initiation on Top Esports now, and Top Esports doesn't have a tank. No one can soak up or take shots from IG. They have to outposition this.
Knight went way too far again. The flash in from Ning. He doesn't even throw the ultimate just yet. The great flash there coming out from Knight. Going to save him. The pause comes out once again, Clement.
Unfortunate for him, and you can see Knight being forced to go into an early Hex Drinker just to prevent the burst damage coming in. Top Esports currently do have they should be getting the first tower in the top side with the Rift Herald and 3 people there. The jungler is helping them push as well, Shong Shong. So it's essentially a 4-for-1 in the top and a 1-for-1 in the bottom side. Top Esports should get that first tower gold.
So looking at the position that IG have been able to establish themselves in, where do they push their lead next? What do they look for? They didn't pick up the Herald. They didn't pick up the Drake for themselves.
Oh, they don't need to do anything. They just hold the waves. That's all.
That's all?
Yeah, because top esports can't even walk up to towers at this point. If they walk up, there's a Sejuani and Camille waiting for them. So I would say just do good vision around the wave control that you're trying to farm up at, and just hold and scale for a while.
Well, that's really unfortunate for top esports
I know,
at this
top
point.
esports has to make some super duper ridiculous risky play to get anything going.
What is the least
they can have
risky?
the tower. They can have the tower down, but they're not going to be able to walk past River that much unless IG shows. So I think most of the time, what you want to do as Ning, you just farm up and just tell the lanes to hold the waves.
What is the least risky play here for top esports to make that could find themselves back in the game? Because right now they don't have a whole lot going for them. They don't have a winning lane anywhere. The closest, I think, the closest you can consider to be a winning lane would be the bottom lane. But even they're not doing all that great.
Yeah, what you want to do is pray to RNG Jesus, hope for an Infernal Drake, get there first, and then hit someone with the light binding. There. That's a 3-step process. The 4th step is profit. If you can make it happen.
Sounds like you need to add a few question marks in there as to why Invictus Gaming would take such a fight. But
well, they would want to take it because they have a better team fighting comp. You just need to pick them.
That's even worse, Clement.
I know, it's risky as hell.
Top esports really only have one way back into the game then, and that's looking for a pick. But at this point, they seem, I wouldn't say mentally shaken, but I would say they seem to be playing from the back foot for the entirety of this game so far, ever since the level 1.
They've been here before, and the biggest question mark for top esports compared to FPX is their team fighting ability. This is a team that rarely ever does the 5v5, so we haven't seen a propensity to really take high-level team fights. I think it's a great test for them, though. They can do picks, they can do skirmishes. Can you fight a 5v5 if you're forced to make it happen? I don't really see what your comp is going to do. Like, your top lane is 40 CS behind. Your mid laner essentially has died 3 times now.
Is it possible, and I hate asking this, Clement, because I am 90% sure the answer is no. If top esports stall out somehow to the point where everyone's on roughly even footing again, do they even have a chance to bring this game back?
Oh, well, if you're the Colonel, you believe in Vladimir, and you give top esports a 77% chance to win his late game. I don't see how the Colonel does his math, but that's what he got.
Not quite that confident myself there, Clement, so I'm gonna have to lie with you on that one. And LokeN going to be able to pick up this solo tower on the top side. It will be the first one, as you said. But TheShy going to come in, and this should just be a dead AD carry, so they won't even get the first tower here. LokeN tries to get out, but TheShy gets the solo kill onto him. And now Ning diving in with 369, taking him out. Tower shot, going to be enough, finally taking him down. But JakeyLove in the bottom lane might be able to pick up this tower before anyone from top esports can respond.
Top esports gets greedy. They rotate before they even take the tower, and that was a cool move by TheShy. He actually goes in and gets his shield before doing his ultimate, just to make sure that he's not going to get instantly burst out by someone hiding behind him. But that was such a great hero call from TheShy.
Top esports, they're looking for the kill. Maybe able to find it onto TheShy. They get the knockback, but don't find a barrel. Don't find a follow-up binding. Now LokeN coming in. They want to get the damage down onto TheShy. They want to find him. They have the scanner onto him. They know he's got the hookshot wall dive. Going to get out of there. Shut down onto TheShy. Here comes Knight. Not going to be able to find anything with that. But 4 men finally take down 2 from Invictus Gaming.
I got to say, that one is on Knight. Okay, Xiong set it up for you perfectly. Perfect kill steal opportunity for the Knight. He wanted him to get that, but Jace didn't hit the mark.
Unfortunate coming in.
Unfortunate, but this is how TES could get back into the map. If you think about their pick potential, they actually have quite a lot of it. With Sivir on the hunt, just chasing down in these side lanes, they can deal with the 1-3-1 effectively if IG are not careful.
Now, top esports going to be trying to recover what they can. They were able to pick up those kills in the top lane, of course, so that gives them a little bit. A lot of gold going over to LokeN, but let's see how he got that.
Yeah, that was a really good double teleport. It's so common for teams to not factor in the TP coming in from the ADC. Ultimate blown earlier just to get the chase down. And a little bit unfortunate for Jace, doesn't find the kill.
JakeyLove just going to be farming up solo in the bottom lane. He has his Q evolve already with the Doran's Blade, the pickaxe, and the Manamune. So they can fight if they want to, but they don't really need to, Clement, as you mentioned earlier. So top esports really need to be the ones making the proactive plays here, trying to fight around a dragon. But I don't think the Cloud Drake is necessarily the one they want to be contesting over.
Nope. So top esports, no vision there. They're going to have to give this one up. And I like what IG are doing. They're saying, you know what, as long as I have this wave shoved up, I don't even need to go towards river. It's fine. I can just scale. It's basically a dare at this point where IG are saying, you know what, I don't think you're going to come in either.
Invictus Gaming sitting on almost a 3K lead at this point, just 14 minutes into the game. Of course, TheShy not quite at his Trinity Force just yet, but he is so powerful. Look at Forge as well, the brand new rookie mid laner coming up from the LDL 3-0-0 right now against top esports, against Knight of all people, who was definitely, at least recently, been the strongest mid laner in the LPL. This is ridiculously good performance coming out here from Forge.
IG have a ton of talented players on their LDL team. People don't realize this, but Invictus Gaming, they had the number 4 LDL team out of 25 teams. So this is a very deep organization that they're going up against, and I'm not surprised that they're going to be able to find young rookies like this time and time again, have them heed the call when it's absolutely needed. Now, to be fair, Forge didn't actually have the best of debut settings. They only contributed 12% of the team's damage. So it's great to see him getting this confidence booster, and I want to see him flourish on more of these bruiser picks. He's been purely bruiser so far.
Seems to be working out for him very well on the Silas as well with the Aftershock. So in the bottom lane we see TheShy split pushing against 369, and he's still down. This time he is down 60 CS. I would not be surprised if by the end of this game, if it goes to 50 minutes, if he's down 369 CS.
All 3 deaths have been underneath tower, and those are the worst deaths you can possibly have. It means that you're missing minion waves, you're getting zoned out of EXP, and he's just not going to be effective for a very, very long time. Forge is going to be able to sold him down easily. He can't even stay.
Yep, 369 going to back off to his minion waves, try and get what little pittance of farm he can. He doesn't even have his Proto Belt just yet. And Forge is almost sitting on the Proto Belt plus the Zonias at this point. Even Knight has barely been itemizing. Look at him. He's just got a maw. And it looks like he's building the Black Cleaver yet, so not even going to go lethality.
Yeah, frontline 2 takey, 2 Aftershocks. Probably not going to do much with lethality, so I actually really like that build choice. But it is unfortunate to see Jace in this position. Usually you do want to have enough damage to actually take out opponents just with the poke potential. So top esports finding themselves in a really hard position, and I love the way IG are playing this. If you look at their compositions, they're never grouped up. They're never giving top IG are never giving top esports the chance to just fully wipe them on one side of the map. They're staying as spread as possible, and they're just waiting.
This is the thing that I both love and hate about Invictus Gaming. They can have one of the worst games of their lives look like absolute garbage. Game number 1. I wouldn't go that far. They can look terrible in game number 1. They can look like they got completely outclassed. And then in game number 2, they come back and explosively just rip the game apart from minute 1 and bring it in their favor. I mean, top esports have never had a leg to stand on this game. And game number 1, Invictus Gaming was in the same position.
And I have to say, top esports brought this upon themselves. Just why not give 369 the last pick? I really don't understand the logic behind for last picking the ADC in this situation. The enemy has already picked Kai'Sa, and they've already finished all their bans. What are they going to do? Unless they have something else they had in mind as an AD carry that would that they felt would be better in this situation.
369 going to go into the pool. He has the Crimson Rush at this point. Hemoplague has gone down, but can he survive until it goes off? No, he cannot. 369 gets taken down into the tower. XX coming in, trying to look for the Shy.
The hook shot.
He's going to be able to land it. Hookshot wall dive, not going to land. The Shy going to be safe thanks to the teleport coming in from Forge to zone off. And top esports find nothing.
It just doesn't matter at this point. They're too tanky of a front line. Everyone has priority on their lanes, and look at this. It's a 4v4, and they still lose their mid tower.
When the Jace is running away from the Kai'Sa at 18 minutes into the game,
they're the same level.
You know things have gone very, very wrong. Invictus Gaming taking charge in this early game, making up for their last game. They really want to get back into shape for Rift Rivals, and last series when they went up against EDG, we thought, you know, they're starting to come back into it, especially that third game, and it looks like they're back in that shape in this game number 2.
369 has seen nothing but tower dives this game. This is the 4th time that he's died underneath tower, and I believe like the 6th time he's been tower dove.
I don't even think he's playing the tower dives particularly poorly. That's the most frustrating thing about this for me. It's just like, what can you do? You're a Vladimir who is down 83 CS. TheShy is up more CS than 369 has.
I don't think I've seen anyone in the LPL not hit 100 CS at 20 minutes.
This may actually be the first legitimate Flame Horizon we have seen.
Pre-20 as well.
Like, it's getting there. It's really close. I just want them to funnel a bunch of farm onto TheShy to make it happen at this point. It's probably not the best way to do things, but honestly, TheShy is doing so well that it might even be worth it. He's 4-2-0. He's got the Trinity Force picked up. He can scrap with the best of them. Has the Tiamat. So he's just going to be focusing on being this split push pressure, and he's going to be able to take 369 out from under the towers.
To start doing the 4-1 for IG. You can see they already have a 5K lead, so even in a 5v4, I think their 4-man has a lot of legs to stand on. They should be able to disengage quite easily anyway. It's going to take Ben and Shongshong to dig them out of this situation. Here comes a potential pick.
They're looking for Ning. They're not going to be able to find a whole lot onto him. Taking a lot of damage onto this tower. Balan's been zoned out for the time being. Top Esports. There's the ultimate. It lands down onto XX. Teleport coming in from 369. But what can he do? TheShy's here first. He's not going to be able to find the Hextech ultimatum just yet. A good zoning ultimate there from XX, but XX will go down in the backline. 369 looking for a kill, looking for the pick on a JakeyLove. Ignite plus Hemoplague. Will it be enough? TheShy says, I'm out of here. Gets taken down. 369 still alive. TOP might just win this one. Shock Blast not enough. Forge and Ning get out with a sliver of health each, but they're still looking for it. Shock Blast not going to take him down. Invictus Gaming somehow survive, but they lose 2 members.
200 HP on that last one. They actually trade 1 for 1 and get the teleport advantage as well for their top lane. This is actually not terrible for IG. It was very close to becoming disaster, but with those 2 members able to sneak out of the team fight with sub 100 health and probably another kill onto 369, that was perfectly fine.
That's just painful. I feel so bad for 369 right now, but you're right, it is fine, and you look at it now, the CS differential is massive, but let's take a look at this fight one more time. TES almost had it.
Yeah, this is really important. Good sidestep from Knight. If he got hit by that one, I think Top Esports are instantly wiped from the team fight. Very good usage to kite back, and 369 going in was important as well, as he had to zone out JakeyLove from the rest of the team fight, or else they would just die there. So Top Esports had a lot of good fights, a lot of good ideas on how to section off members from the team to get that. But can they stave off the Baron take, though?
Ning, there's no smite in the pit, but it doesn't matter. No one's going to be able to get into it to stop them. TheShy comes in, trying to look for the pick off. They take him down. They take the Baron down. Invictus Gaming, they lose 2, take down the jungler, take down the Baron, and Invictus Gaming still in it, still in the lead, 6K gold at 22 minutes.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to take the Baron. I'm usually not that comfortable with junglers being over the wall just to zone out the other jungler. You don't know what skill shot's going to come in, but they got it to work, so okay.
I mean, if it works, Clement. Results-based analysis.
It works.
But Forge coming in here into the mid lane, the strongest member of the team so far right now. 206 CS, 4-0-0, almost hitting onto that lich vein. Okay, he changed his tune real fast. The Colonel feeling 87% in favor of Invictus Gaming.
The Colonel does not understand compositions. I do.
It's going to be our cage match. It's you versus the virtual Colonel.
Yeah, even though I'm getting bludgeoned in the prediction department, I still have my head over the Colonel.
We both are. You and I both, buddy.
I didn't see the rise of LNG and the fall of DMO. That was my fault.
I just didn't see Invictus Gaming taking any series, and then here they are in both the EDG series and this series, coming back into it.
Yeah, Raz got lucky on that one. So I'm not sure about this Top Esports siege.
Teleport coming in. This is why it's bad. The spell shield is great coming in from LokeN, and he has the items for these crits. If they're able to find a good front-to-back team fight, it might be enough. TheShy not able to find the flank. 369 looking for the ultimate over the side. Ben really low. TEX taking down 2 members. Knight and 369 still alive, still pumping out damage, but LokeN, last one surviving in the team fight, and Invictus Gaming get the clean ace.
Yeah, that was 1 for 4, and Top Esports, that was a very questionable fight. I think the reason they went in was because they suspected, or they got the wrong timer. They thought that TheShy used the teleport for the previous one, or there's really no reason to try and force like that one. A very easy backside ward from TheShy, and the entire team is just kind of dead. It was a great reaction from LokeN to spell shield the Glacial Prison incoming from Ning, but even then they couldn't get away from the initiation.
This is really unfortunate for LokeN because he has been farming out incredibly well. He has 3 items already completed, and this Sivir should be doing damage. The problem is he doesn't really have a team around him who's able to support him.
Yeah,
well,
and I really like what Forge did right there. I believe he took the Hemo Plague and healed up massively during the backside of that team fight to keep himself in perfect condition, and then he could re-engage with the Abduct as well. So just watching this is super questionable from Top Esports to find themselves in this position. And just looking at the fight, yes, it was the Hemo Plague taken from Forge. He's unkillable at that point. Top Esports, they use all of their damage onto the Silas, not able to get the kill, and you really can't run away from this one. Forge just played this team fight so damn well. Even though he does fall down, just think about how much damage he actually took down. He even goaded Top Esports to stay in that funnel.
Now, looking at the items across the board, JakeyLove is not going to be going for the hybrid build. He's not going to be going for any AP. He's just going for damage. He's got the rapid fire cannon. He's got the Muramana, Ginsu's Rage Blade, plus he has the Hex Drinker as well. Maw of Malmortius now upgraded.
This is pretty much the anti-Vladimir build. I'm just going to stay alive for now. We've been seeing 2 builds mainly for the Kai'Sa. It's been like the Storm Razors into the Fire Cannon and just the AP build. AP builds coming from the Muramana. And the main advantage about the Fire Cannon is just it's a lot safer in team fights. You can dodge out of unwanted attention a lot easier, and also the second build you do get the supercharge a little bit faster. Safety versus DPS.
Here comes the On the Hunt. They're trying to get the pick down onto TheShy, but TheShy now has the opportunity for a flank. 369 unable to find a whole lot of damage, gets stunned up, and there's no way TES can continue this fight, but JakeyLove goes real aggressive on the bend. He's able to find that, able to find XX, who goes golden. They're trying to get the assassination onto JakeyLove. They may be able to find him in the back fight. They will, but how much do they lose for it? LokeN and Knight fighting as best they can. TheShy low, goes golden, still alive for the time being, but no, hits the ace, coming out once again. Invictus Gaming may just end the game here.
Insane CC luck onto 369. He doesn't get his Hemo Plague off before he just falls down, and that was incredibly ballsy from JakeyLove to then go into the backline, assassinate the team members, and still finish off the entire team fight. Great play from IG, and that's the team fighting that we wanted, we expected from this squad.
Invictus Gaming bringing it back in game number 2 to tie up the series 1-1.
Main problem for me for Top Esports is the way they set up their composition was so fragile on the top side of the map. You had a weaker laner, a weaker jungler, all having to play against someone like a Camille, which can find initiation so easily. I just have to question the way they rounded that draft out. It was unnecessary risk for me to draft in the fashion that they did, not giving the last counter pick to 369, instead showing their hand. Was a very questionable decision, and I feel like the last thing you want to do against IG is give them a stronger jungler and top lane matchup.
Well, that's the thing. You know, TheShy, he was playing a little bit recklessly last game, but if you actually spend attention on him, spend the focus on him, it sort of feels like the progression of a spoiled child. You know, it's just like, oh, I'll just do it by myself. I'm just going to knock over these things out of the cupboard. But when Ning is just like, no, it's okay, buddy, I'm here for you. TheShy's like, oh, I guess I'll carry then. I guess we can do that. And it shows in the gold graph. I mean, this is the opposite of what we saw last game. TES had the same gold trend, so these games are going back and forth in the series. The games themselves are absolute stomps.
This is exactly how IG beat TOP the last time in semifinals as well. It felt like 369 was playing on an island. There was no ganks coming his way. Top Esports' only solution was to do the early lane swap with the Herald, and Vladimir was still ganked down multiple times. That was 4 deaths within 20 minutes where he was ganked and killed underneath tower. Those are 4 large minion waves that he's not getting And you could see the CS lead. It was 16 minutes, already 80 CS down, 0 impact. Last team fight doesn't even get his Hemo Plague off before just getting completely shut down. I want to see Top Esports focus on 369 a little bit more. I was talking about 369 being their ceiling. If 369 is doing well, he's getting MVPs, and Top Esports look unbeatable. But when he's just left alone like that, it's so weird. I don't see why you don't give him a little bit more to start the game off with. He's going up against TheShy. Give him the counter pick.
Well, right, and that's the problem for 369. I mean, there's playing weak side top laner, and there's playing no side top laner. And he did the latter in that game because he was given no purchase. He was given no chance to get back into the game because once the dive started, nobody from TOP, or TES rather, responded to give him space. You remember that time up top where they pinged out that Ning was there. They saw him there. They saw TheShy. They saw the wave coming in. XX was right there. He was right there. 369 was here. XX was here, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna go get wolves.
Yeah,
see ya.
Their idea was, no, I'm gonna go bot lane and take the Drake, and we're gonna swap. Your life is gonna suck, but good luck, boy. Good luck, boys. That's pretty much the solution there. Like, we will win on tempo, and if our top lane falls behind, so be it. That was essentially what Top's answer was. It didn't work out that way whatsoever. I actually really like IG's idea to how they reacted to that. They didn't then swap their top lane into the top side to counteract what was happening. Instead, they just tower dove Vladimir when he came bot. Vladimir is actually a very easy champion to tower dive. Like, he doesn't have any hard crowd control. Yes, he can get the pull and get some healing, but it's very hard for him to dodge out of dodge out of CC. So I'm not sure what TOP or Top Esports are going to react to that. I feel like it's a game style change that they have to do, is that they've never really seemed to fully commit into having 369 just win one of those lanes. You see what IG currently is. They're only consistently winning lane at points is TheShy. If you shut that down, I'm not sure like how they're gonna come up, you know. And TheShy, that catch on the top side where he figured out TES were getting greedy and roaming Gragas and Lux to the mid lane, that was so smart. That was picture perfect. They got the first tower off that as well. That was quintessential TheShy. Like, a lot of players wouldn't take that risk because they had no vision behind that. He read that play blind.
Well, TheShy coming up with an impressive performance is what we saw in the EDG series, but can they repeat their victory there, pull out the 2-1 against TES, or will they fight back in game number 3? We'll find out just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.